pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to call the regular town council meeting for the town of Hudson to order for November 17th at 6 o'clock. Can I get a roll call, please?
Councilmember Stadler?
Here.
Councilmember Knopf?
Here.
Councilmember Chavez?
Here.
Councilmember Hammack?
Here.
Councilmember Warren?
Here.
Councilmember Biskins?
Here.
Mayor Hargis?
Here. Are there any additions to the agenda?
No, there is not.
At this point, I would like to take a moment of silence to the young man who lost his life Monday night at the train tracks. Pat, please. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Citizens' comments. It's a point where anybody who wishes to address the council may do so at this time. Please step forward to the podium, state your name and address, and you have 3 minutes.
I don't think I'll need 3. Thank you, Mayor Hargis and council for hearing me tonight. I'm Zoe Steber. I'm from Fort Lupton. I am the recently re-elected mayor, and that has something to do with what I want to talk about this evening. I've prepared a letter.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, you gave me 2, so you can have one back.
Can hand one to the lawyer.
Thank you. Yeah, and I can read Joe's. Are you sure? Yeah. We can share.
Thank you so much.
Oh, okay. I'll pass it around.
We signed, the city of Fort Lupton signed an IGA with the town of Hudson quite a number of years ago. And we are due for renewal in February. We've discovered that trying to work through an election cycle when we are so busy and have so many other things to do was very difficult for us. This year was our election. Next year is yours. Last year was yours. When we requested of your town manager a year ago, we were told, please don't do this in the middle of an election. Well, then now it's ours and next year it will be yours. So when is a good time? We really don't have any horrible comments about the IGA, but I believe that it needs to be brought forward into today's world. We have a neighbor who I won't mention, but down the road on 76, who would like to encroach on our areas. We've always been very good partners with Hudson, and I think we can continue to do so, but I think it's time that we update the IGA, and we would very much like to get it outside, get the renewal outside of the time when we're trying to do it during an election. In furtherance of that particular topic, we would also like to invite your mayor and council to come over to Fort Lupton. We actually do have a restaurant, believe it or not. I know the one that you guys have because I'm at it almost every Sunday. But we would like to invite you over to talk, to make sure that our relationship with Hudson remains friendly and positive and work forward. And I think it's really a good idea. We meet with Brighton, we meet with Platteville. And I think it's time that we met with you once in a while too, because you're actually as close a neighbors as anybody else that we have. And so I'm hoping that this will not be looked at upon as a border war. It certainly isn't. We want to maintain our friendship with the town of Hudson. So thank you very much. I'm done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So if everybody wants to start thinking about some possible dates for putting forward for meeting with the town of Fort Lupton, you can pass them on to me and I'll get together with Zoe and we'll put something together.
If you want, we could put a doodle poll out to everybody so we could find when everyone's available.
That'll work too. Thanks. Thank you, Zoe. Anybody else?
My name is Kenzie Broderick. I am a seventh grader at Weld Central Middle School. I am writing to request a sponsorship for the Hudson Town Council. Last year, the town sponsored me when I qualified for the Junior World Finals, and I am very grateful. This year, I'm excited to announce that I've qualified for a similar junior rodeo called the Vegas Toughest. This is a huge honor and a goal I've worked on all year. At the end of the month, I will travel to Las Vegas to compete in the finals. I am requesting sponsorship to help me achieve my goal of a 2021 junior barrel racing title. Any sponsorships or donations will help. The entry costs of traveling, stalls, and supplies are a lot. Thank you for this opportunity to be considered.
Thank you. So we did sponsor Kinsey last year. So the question is, do you want to sponsor her again this year? And if so, how much?
I say the same as last year. Just keep it even all around the board.
Then I would entertain a motion for that.
So I make a motion to sponsor Kinsey, the same as last year. I forgot the amount, but I think it was five
500.
for $500.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Can I get a roll call, please?
Councilmember Stadler,
Yes.
Councilmember Warren,
Yes.
Councilmember Knopf,
Yes.
Councilmember Biskins,
Yes.
Councilmember Chavez,
Yes.
Councilmember Hammack,
Yes.
Mayor Hargis.
Yes,
Thank you.
go beat them this year.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
I have a list this time. Matt at 365 Cedar Street. A couple questions. I was going through the budget and I'm kind of confused if there's funding to finish the repairs at the Memorial Park and finish Cedar Park. If you look through the 20, at least when I looked through it, which is the same budget you guys got in your packets last week, it shows funding in there for 2021, but nothing for 2022. And I don't know if the repairs were done at Memorial Park, but I know Cedar Park is not finished. In the past, usually when a project didn't get completed in 1 year, the funds were still marked in the budget for the following year. So is there someone change their mind on what we're doing with the parks or where the funding's at, disappeared to?
Not to my knowledge, but unfortunately, I don't know the budget that intimately yet. Actually, I never will. I have to go look it up.
So I went through it a couple hours last night, just making sure I didn't miss it somewhere. But yeah, it shows funding. I think it was I want to say 250 or 500,000 for phase 1 for Memorial Park in 21, and like almost 60,000 for Cedar Park to be, I'm presuming to be finished. But then in 2020, it's zeros.
For 22, you mean?
Yeah, 22 zeros. And I know
Yeah.
Cedar Park ain't done yet,
No, and I think that money is still there because there is going to be more improvements.
which
Two.
is fine. I just kind of confused because in the past, the town's budget always reflected that the funds just
Yeah,
moved.
Over.
we'll just
if-
have to get that clarified. It
Uh,
might just be a typo.
And then is there a reason some of our law enforcement officers are not enforcing the weight limit on town streets? I
Other
have
than that, they
personally
just can't
caught,
catch them.
I personally have caught 4 times. I don't know if it's the same officer or not. But different times of the day, different times of the week, the officers will actually kind of follow a truck and they'll just turn off in their street. And I know for a fact, some of those I've actually followed myself. Trucks will come on off 52 and cut through town right by town hall, or they're coming up from town hall and go to 52 and the officers never pull them over. And it's obviously not trucks that are, locals that live here, especially when it says Swift on the side of one of them. On the frontage road, there's a weight limit sign. North side 52 going towards Harmon Lumber. Shouldn't that weight limit sign be on the street going by Farm and Lumber, not the frontage road? Because wouldn't we treat the frontage road the same way we treat Kersey Road as far as weight limits go?
Unfortunately, that's your 3 minutes and the weight limit is for our section of town of the frontage road, but we'll have to get that checked out. Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, consent agenda. Did everybody get a chance to go through the consent agenda and do you have any questions? If not, then I would, excuse me, entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Can I get a roll call, please?
Councilmember Chavez?
Yes.
Councilmember Knoll?
Yes.
Councilmember Warren?
Yes.
Councilmember Stadler?
Yes.
Councilmember Hammack?
Yes.
Councilmember Biskins? Mayor Hargis?
Councilmember Viskins has to abstain from this vote. Sorry, and yes for me. All right, 2A, Resolution 2144, resolution approving an intergovernmental agreement with Weld County participating local governments as part of the Colorado opioids settlement. You got that one, yeah.
Okay. So in your packet is a copy of the intergovernmental agreement to create the regional council with Weld County and other participating local governments in your region. I think Weld County is solely its own region with all the municipalities contained in it. So this is to help you disperse, I guess I'll say, the opioid funds that will come to you as your regional share. You may also pool your individual share into this region to go further with your money if you so choose. So this will set up that regional board. It goes over who are going to be the voting members on that board and how that board's going to operate. So this is required as part of your MOU with the state to receive those opioid funds. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Does anybody have any questions? If not, then I would entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve resolution 2144, a resolution approving an intergovernmental agreement with the Weld County participating local governments as part of the Colorado opioid. Oh, I can't even say it right. Settlement.
I second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 2B, Resolution 2145, a resolution approving a services agreement with J. Ramos Associates LLC for facilitator services. A while ago, we had discussed and brought up with the rest of the council, basically having a retreat with a facilitator to help build the council together as, more easier working together and answer any questions. And she also gives a basic how-to on elected officials and running a town council. I spoke with her a week ago. She does come highly recommended. I liked what she had to say. I think she can help us out quite a bit. Other than that, does anybody have any questions?
Be part of the CML.
No. She is completely separate. She works for, some of the information was in the packet. Of course, you didn't get to read through much of it because it was in a Word document. She works with a lot of different towns and cities, as well as large companies within Colorado. And that's all she does is help as a facilitator with things.
I think that we work fine together. We all have our differences of opinions, but that's what rounds out a council. We all shouldn't think the same.
True.
I
And that's not what
don't-
she's going for.
I know, but it was brought up in an executive session to do this retreat, so I don't understand how we're gonna talk about what needs to be talked about and why it was brought up if it was in an executive session, because you can't talk about those things. So,
This is something that we can talk about because it was something that was brought up that the council would kind of like to have done. we're not talking about what was the other things that were brought up in the executive session.
Right, but I thought that's why it was called for,
Not all of it,
was
no,
because people don't work together or whatever. I wasn't in it, so I don't know, but
not all of it, but
I just think, I mean, we all have our difference of opinions,
Mhm.
but we all get along, like, I don't think
I
we
don't
need
think it was
but-
just for council, though. We also brought it up as with like planning commission too, like bringing both of the groups together, because a lot of times council, like other than the two that sit on planning commission, we're not a part of a lot of that. So some of
that
some of that too.
that in particular was not included in the statement of work. So if we want to include the planning commission, we need to have her redo a statement of work.
I think that's a good idea.
Okay. Then we will not vote on, we cannot vote on it, right? And send it back?
Table it. Yeah, you can table it.
Okay, we'll table this one for now. We'll send it back. We'll get a new statement of work. If that's what you guys would like to do.
Would it be beneficial to also have representatives from the recreation committee there as well?
It's up to you guys.
It's a good idea. If we're gonna do it, let's do it right and do it all. the
Well,
way
and if
across
we're
the board.
doing it, then have a representative from every department possibly then.
Right.
Not
And we brought
just
that up too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll say not
Mhm.
just certain
Okay.
ones, but every department and include every
The department heads.
Yep.
The commission, planning
Yeah.
commission, council, rec committee, like all of the groups, because I think we're very not on,
Segmented.
yeah.
All right. I will get in contact with her tomorrow to redo the statement of work. And we'll see about bringing it back for December 1st. Okay. Thank you. Staff reports. Charity,
I don't have anything.
Catherine,
I don't have anything. They didn't share anything with me to bring. so-
putting you on the spot. Yeah. You didn't even know you were going to have to talk about the opioids thing.
Nope, didn't tell me that either.
Jay. Jen,
Not normal. Sometimes they do.
you have something not normal? Oh,
Well, it's not normal that I have something,
Okay.
but you could take the former. So I wanted to kind of go back to a comment that was made at the last council meeting about weeds, and I just wanted to clarify what the code says. So basically it says a weed is a weed, grass, brush, not otherwise defined as a noxious weed, because those have their own definition. That is grown to maturity or is in excess of 6 inches in height, which is what you hear a lot of times. If it grows over 6 inches, that's where that code piece comes from. Let's see. So that's what a weed is. The actual requirement is it's unlawful for an owner or occupant of any property, so that could be a renter, it could be the owner, to permit weeds to grow on such a property to a height of more than 6 inches, or to permit trash or debris to accumulate. And for purposes of this section, property is alleys adjacent to the property, streets adjacent to the property, and sidewalk areas adjacent to the property from the center line of the street. So those are the magic areas. All right, if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. I just wanted to make sure everybody was aware of what the code said and where that piece from the newsletter came from. So, and this is the time of year where things get, I guess before it stopped raining, that was the time of year where things get a little weed crazy. So that's why that was put out there as well. I did want to give you an update on Planning Commission's discussion on Beach Street. They are the Planning Commission, so we made a plan. We kind of discussed some initial issues and identification of solutions without going into any definites, because we want to give people who are coming to the open house that we're planning an opportunity to have something to comment on. It's not nice to tell people to kind of create something from nothing. So we want to kind of give them something to have a discussion about. We did decide on January 12th, 2022 as being the date for that open house. That is the first regular Planning Commission meeting of the year. And there was also a discussion about the holidays kind of getting in front of people being able to attend events in the next couple of months. So that's the reason for the January meeting date. We will be doing a lot of noticing for that. We'll do direct mailings to the property owners right there on the 4th and 5th blocks, 400 and 500 blocks of Beach Street. And then also on Ash and Cherry, which are the two streets that are right next to Beach and could be potentially affected by any changes on it. But then we're also going to do postings on the town sign, on the town board, at the post office. We will do something on the website. So we're trying to put it out everywhere, but also try and really get in touch with the owners that we're actually going to be talking about their area. in particular. And let's see here. Is there anything else I want to tell you about that? So the general format for the meeting is going to be comments and information collection. I call it the information extraction because we're trying to get information from people and people who come to the event. And so there will be an opportunity. We're trying to think of opportunities for people who can't make it to the event to comment. That's still swirling around in my head. So we'll come up with an opportunity for that, but we do want to let you know that's a thought in our heads, and we know we need to figure out a medium for people to be able to make those comments. We'll do an open house. We'll do a report out at that open house once the open house concludes and we have some information to report out on. And then we will go back to kind of put our thinking caps on and do some cost benefit analyses with our engineers and other, people who could give us cost estimates for parts of projects that may have to happen that are identified as potential solutions, so that when it comes to you after that, you kind of have everything laid out in front of you, all the potential options for solutions, how much those options cost, and that way you can do your own priority and ranking of those issues. I gave you a lot of information, but just know you'll be getting a lot more, which is a good thing. But we've just started the process and started really thinking about it, and we'll start actually, now that we've planned it, we'll start working our plan.
I
Thank
thought we discussed as an idea also to put it on the doors of Beach, Cherry, and Ash, those blocks, just so that we gave everybody an opportunity to get it. So if they didn't check their mail or they didn't see it, they can't say we weren't notified, we didn't know. Are we still going to do that?
We can do that as well. That's
Okay.
not a big deal. In fact, either this week, depending on the weather, I don't want to get blown away, or the week after Thanksgiving, I'm actually going to be doing a sidewalk survey. So I'll be walking the neighborhood, taking pictures, trying to get an idea of what the existing conditions are, both in front of those properties and behind them in the alley. That way you both have kind of the physical issues on the street, but then also people's perspectives and their viewpoints on what they want to see happen. So, and one more quick thing to note, sorry, I'm talking a lot. It's very weird. The building department website is live. It's up there. We kind of did a soft opening, so I'll call it that, with inspections. So people who are already in inspections, they had gotten an email from us saying, oh, we're going to pro code with inspections now. Here's all the information you need. Now it's everybody. So if you're going to apply for a permit, we're online. And I say only, but if you want to walk in a permit, of course, we're going to accept walk-in permits. But pretty much it's an online system. You can call for inspections online. You can get you can resubmit online. We get notifications for everything. So, the first day was special, but after that, don't ask me to define special in that. Do it. But after that, it's been pretty smooth sailing, and the staff with ProCode has been absolutely helpful. They answer the phone when we call. They sit on the phone with us and walk us through steps with their new system. So it's been really good.
Quick question on the open house.
Yes.
Have we reached out to the principal of the elementary school at all? He may have some things he wants to present as far as safety goes.
Okay. And Daniel, so I will definitely do that. So we put, and you all were part of this, we discussed Beach Street and parking as it related to the school. And we actually had our transportation consultant go out with staff, and there were staff positioned at certain points during the drop off and pickup hours to see how the ants run. And we mapped out a lot of things. And so there's some information in the planning commission packet from the last meeting that has some, but I think what we identified were there were other stakeholders, the school district, the fire department, basically anybody who could also have a stake or a vested interest in how those roads are used, that we would need to reach out to as well as part of that cost benefit analysis, so that we're getting that technical aspect and that technical information. So,
Okay, thank you.
yes, that's a great idea. All right, I'm done talking, I promise.
Anybody have any questions for Jen?
Thanks.
Thank you. Daniel? Candace?
No.
Lisa? Maria?
December 3rd, we're having the Christmas lighting here in town, and we've always asked for years for 2 dozen cookies from all council members, so if we can do that. Also, Sophia is putting together a 2022 kind of agenda
Calendar?
calendar, not necessarily a calendar, but also a discussion for council to present. We'll have that.
2 dozen or 3 dozen?
Yeah. 3. That's great. More the better.
Anything else?
That's it. Oh.
Joe?
Good.
Sarah?
No.
I think, I don't know if everybody got these in their mail or just Maria and I. Ames Community College is having a ribbon cutting on December 10th up in Greeley for their new welcome center. So if anybody wants to go, you're welcome to. Welcome to the event. Yeah. And the invitations for our Christmas party were sent out, so you should be getting those soon. I think that's all I have. Back to citizens' comments. Anybody wishing to address the council on anything that was brought up during the meeting may do so at this time. Again, state your name and address, and you have 3 minutes. I'll let the record show that nobody's coming forward. And on that note, meeting's adjourned at 6:26. Thank you, everybody.